Hello, hello, hello. Um, Welcome. A couple of videos back, one of my videos went up without sound, which honestly felt very on brand um, for bureaucracy, which is what I want to talk about. But what stayed with me wasn't the technical issue from that incident or from that video, but the body impact. And you might see me reading. I got some notes here. You know, while I made some notes, these are honest conversations. These are honest events, and I hope that me sharing this can land with someone with the impact that it um, lets you see that you're not alone and allows you to improve your life in some in incrementally in incremental steps. So so here I am. So the technical issue happened with the video, but what stayed with me, but the body impact from the content of that video is what stayed with me. It was a video about bureaucracy and how it lives inside of us quietly. Um, and if you don't do something about it, how that can take a toll on you. So welcome to the channel. I am Minty Ray, as always. Come on in, grab a seat, scoot right up. You're among friends. And here, like I said, we have honest conversations, period. Honest conversations about stress, about health, and what midlife actually feels like. Also, um, here we learn to thrive when life shows up in these areas because we want to create lives that we genuinely love. And today, I want to talk about something that seemed small, but it didn't feel small. So, I'm very familiar with systems. I worked in government for a long time, over 30 years. I speak fluent policy. Um, and as for the property tax office, it wasn't shocking, but the feeling of helplessness um, was triggering for me. That was a really triggering feeling from being in the property tax office. And the real question for me was, how do I manage this? How do I manage this feeling that I'm having so that I can have my own peace of mind around this? So few weeks back, I went to the property tax office and I was on the mend from a moderate medical emergency, something that had a 6-week recovery. I don't want to mention it, although I'm really not sure if I already mentioned it in a previous video. But anyway, I was around week 4 of the recovery of this medical emergency. And I was feeling good enough that I went into the property tax office to take care of business that I had with them. Me, because I'm prepared. I brought my ER discharge papers, my follow-up instructions, follow-up instructions from my doctor, because if you've ever gone to the ER, they will, or even urgent care, they will recommend that you follow up with your primary care physician. That's what they're called in the US. So went did that, got the instructions from them, and that was a part of the package that I was bringing um, down to the property tax office. So I had all the things. I explained to them what happened, um, and I was told we don't remove penalties for anything. And I said, not even for medical emergencies, even like a temporary disability. And they said, nope. Well, in addition to my policy tentacles going up, I'm like, that can't be right. Um, and when they said it, I noticed my body started um, to feel tense. And in true nature, I couldn't help myself. We went back and forth a little bit, but they still landed on no. So in that moment, I'm like, um, this doesn't feel right. But, I recognized that I was still healing and I just didn't have the, the heart or the stamina really to go back and forth in a, in sort of a rational approach to getting to yes. Um, I'm the kind of person that I don't like to argue things or debate things unless I know I am going to be right. How does that mean? What does that mean? It sounds worse than it is. I don't have to always be right, but I'm not going to argue unless I have good enough reason to believe that the outcome is worth it for me. The outcome is worth it, and that the debate or discussion um, will result in a yes. And this just didn't happen. And I just didn't have the I just didn't have the I just didn't have it in me. So there was a young man there that was helping me, and you know, try as he may, um, he did go back and try to have the discussion. Um, but in the end, he wished me well, and I was clear that I could fight this policy battle another day. So I just handled my business and left. And if I'm being honest, I really wasn't surprised about their position. I am familiar with federal bureaucracy and how bureaucracy can spill down into local levels, into local government. Um, what I've learned is that local, local governments, state governments tend to mirror just because it's easier. The federal government, that's what they're already doing the thing. So those federal and local governments, those state and local governments can mirror policy that's already set by the federal government. And why not? And I believe too that this also shows up in many regards, just because it makes doing business in many ways easy. I would even say that many corporations will follow suit. Don't hold my feet to that because I'm not 100% sure. But I would say that in my experience, um, just anecdotally, I would say that happens, probably across the board in the U.S. So, so what surprised me was how much. So yeah, I wasn't surprised that it trickled down, but I was a little bit surprised about how much that moment stayed with me. Um, Not because it was dramatic, because it really wasn't dramatic, but because it was dismissive. And as the day went on, I realized that dismissiveness was just holding in my body, and it was stressing me. And as you know, stress can be cumulative and doesn't always look like panic. Sometimes it looks like fatigue or irritation, or looking in the mirror and saying, "Damn, I look old today," or "Why do I look so tired today?" Um, I don't mean I look old, but um, I do mean like, why am I looking more tired than I normally look on any other given day? Um, what I am getting clear on is that my body feels stress before my mind is probably willing to admit that I'm stressed. So, what do we do in situations like this uh, to help take care of ourselves in the immediacy? In another video, we can walk through ways to regulate ourselves when stress shows up. Um, Actually, I would love to do that. And maybe you'll join me. Look, if something small has been sitting with you longer than you expected it, you're not imagining it. Um, your body keeps score. Um, so the question becomes, how do you get through that? Um, so remember, I'm in it with you, and we can get through this together. By the way, it's really nice having you here, and I look forward to connecting with you in the comments. Um, Talk again soon. Bye for now.